Hey, Midwest Picker here. My name is Dave. This has been a crazy couple of weeks. I'm going to show you the last 28 items I have sold on eBay. So if you're new to the channel, this is a reselling channel. I show you how to source items, what to source, what's sold, all the BOLOs, the be on the lookouts, the things you should be sourcing so you don't waste your time, money, treasure, gas, driving all over the place buying stuff. I'm going to show you the duds too, the stuff that I bought that just didn't make any money, and I'm going to show you the items that really did make money. Maybe not a home run to you, but they are to me. eBay is weird. I can go 5-6 days without a single sale, and then for 2 weeks, 4 or 5 items a day, every day. eBay is kind of like a water faucet. Either it's on or it's off. And when eBay shuts the faucet off, I don't know if it's a conspiracy. I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like either it's feast or famine. That's what I'm thinking of. And yes, it's true. I did sell a single boot for over $100, $140. Not a pair of boots, a boot. And that's coming up quick. And real quick, I decided to purge my dead inventory. You know how resellers have like a death pile? My death pile is on my eBay store. I've got items in my store 2 years, 3 years, 4 years old. And I do end and sell similar, so none of the listings technically are more than 90 days old or refreshed. But man, it is stupid stuff that I bought or was given to me for free, just not selling. So if it's a lighter item, I went through and spent an hour and changed the shipping using bulk editor in my eBay dashboard to free shipping. I just want to get it out of there. So yeah, my margins are down, my profits are down, but hey, if it's a piece of ephemera, if it's a lapel pin, I don't care. I want to get it out. And when I did that, like 50 or 60 items I made free shipping, man, the sales just went crazy. So yeah, I didn't make a ton of money on these items that are free shipping, but my previous video, I did a whole video, not a whole video, I did a mention in the video why it's not always a bad idea to break even or even lose a little bit of money on an item. And if you're curious why that's true, watch my previous video. First item is this Villeroy and Bach plate, just a single plate. The guy just wanted one. He made me an offer, I think $8, and I took it. Usually I sell 4 plates, 6 plates, 8 plates at a time. This guy just wanted one replacement. And if you don't know from watching all my other videos, Villeroy and Bach is a great product to source. Garage sales, thrift stores, usually get them pretty cheap. They sell very well. Next are these two Fitz and Floyd. I've never heard of this before. Doesn't matter. These square plates sold for $30, and I think they're all gone now, but this was a great sale. I'm not going to tell you cost of goods on everything, so I don't want to get it wrong. A lot of them are free. A lot of them are oddball, but if I do remember, I'll tell you in the video. This next one makes me mad. Oh, did I get mad. 6 Villeroy and Bach cups and saucers. I packaged it up beautifully. Look at my feedback on my eBay store, or maybe I'll put a picture up, but I get lots of positive feedback on how well the items were packaged. 100% positive feedback, top rated plus seller since 2002. Very proud of that. So this item was an international sale. It used to be called eBay Global Shipping Program. Now it's just called eBay International Shipping Program. But if you don't know, if you're new to reselling, it's great to sell internationally through this program because eBay has these shipping hubs all over the country. Mine used to be Kentucky. Now it's in Illinois, just south of Michigan, southwest of Michigan. So if you sell internationally through this program, it goes to this hub. So you only have to pay the shipping to this hub, which is not much at all. But when eBay gets it, they have all these employees in this giant warehouse. They open up the package, they repackage it, and nobody knows what it looks like or how well they do it or what. And then they deal with the international customs and the value-added tax, all that crap, all that international stuff that you don't have to worry about. eBay handles it for you. eBay takes the responsibility for you, and then they send it off. So this went to a guy in New Zealand. More than 35 days later, I get a negative feedback. And I know it's not the end of the world, but still, come on. And he puts in the feedback, item arrived smashed and destroyed or something like that. And I thought, no way. First of all, he didn't ask for a refund. He didn't ask for to return it or anything like that. And this is more than 30 days. I offer free 30-day returns, but when you go through this eBay hub, it changes things. eBay is supposed to take responsibility for anything that happens. They refund the customer out of their own pocket, and you cannot receive negative feedback. Well, I did. So I contacted eBay customer service, and I just very nicely said, hey, this is an international shipping program. I'm not supposed to get negative feedback. I take pride in the way I package my items. The customer said it arrived smashed and broken. That's on you, not on me. 24 hours later, eBay, the feedback was gone. Awesome. I feel bad for the customer, though, because those are really nice cups and saucers. I don't know what happened, so I may have lost a lifelong customer. Who knows? But eBay did correct it, and it didn't cost me a penny. This next buyer wanted 6 Villeroy and Bach plates, which is awesome. I love it when they buy in volume like that. They paid $59.70 plus shipping on top. These things are flying. My mother-in-law gave me on consignment like 68 pieces of Villeroy and Bach maybe 2 months ago, and they're almost all gone. Next one is a total dud. I do not recommend this one. I think this was a charity auction on YouTube 3 years ago. Austin Powers action figure, the genuine article, just not collectible. Nobody cares about these stupid things. I've had them in my eBay store, and I marked them down and marked them down and marked them down. I finally did like free shipping just to get rid of the thing. I accepted an offer of $12, and my cost of goods was $6, so probably a loss. Next is, I don't know, Bing Bang Bongo collector plate. I don't know what this is. I don't even know where I got it from. Sold really quick, though, when I changed it to free shipping. I took a best offer of $20. I was thrilled to get rid of that thing. Next up are these Boris art books. I call them art books. Took a best offer of $30. I don't know what I had it listed for, maybe $35 or $39. Cost of goods was $7. If you're not familiar with the artist Boris Vallejo, I think that's how you say it. He's a very famous artist for his work. It's very desirable. Posters, books, t-shirts. So if you see anything by the artist Boris, I think that's how he even signs his name. Very collectible, very desirable. Condition is everything. They got to be in good condition, but if you can source it, it will sell. Next up is this brass belt buckle, sold for $16.16. I don't know how that happened. I do markdowns. I do promoted listings, free shipping. How this price ended up this price, I don't know, but it sold. Next one, crank it up to 11.
These go to 11.
Yes, you see this right. I sold 4 window cranks for $71.84. Boom, that is a home run if you ask me. And yes, it is true because they are a Pella brand. If you don't know, Pella brand is a huge BOLO. Be on the lookout. So any hardware for Pella sliding glass doors, windows, anything, a little window crank, a little locking mechanism, anything like that, people will pay big bucks because Pella windows are such high quality, they seem to last forever. So if you had these expensive Pella windows installed in your house 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 40 years ago, the hardware is probably very difficult to find and is no longer being made. It's been discontinued. So if you can find it, buy it because it will sell quick. Next is this vintage little creamer. I got this for free from my sister, sold for $8. Next is Currier and Ives. Not a lot of value here. I grew up as a kid with these dishes, so it's kind of nostalgic for me. But they do not sell, and these saucers took forever. Now, there are items that will. I think it's like this odd-shaped platter in the casserole dish with the lid. Those will sell. But the regular plates, saucers, salad plates, dinner plates, they just do not sell. Sold a set of 2 for $8.95. Free ship. Took a long time. Next, I sold a gear. My first gear. Free to me. A friend of mine was cleaning out his pole barn, and he just gave it to me. Free to me. Yamaha. $16. Took about a month to sell. Next up, I sold a boot. This thing has been in my eBay store for over a year. It's a really cool boot. I kind of wanted to keep it, but I couldn't keep it. So I put it in my eBay store, and it finally sold. This beautiful Murano boot vase. Very rare, very valuable. The only issue is it had a small chip in the heel. That really lowers the value. I had it listed for $299. Got a lot of views, a lot of watchers, but no buyers. Then a potential buyer messaged me, and he said, you know, with that damage, it's only worth like $140, and then he offered me $140. I think that's a fair price. I couldn't agree more. I said, I'm tired of looking at this boot, so I accepted it for $140. It's very heavy. It's about 16 inches tall. It weighs about 5 pounds. Murano made these in blue and white, green and white, red and white, yellow, white, and black and white. I bought this on high bid, sight unseen kind of. There's a lot of photos. I did not notice in the photo that the heel had a chip in it. So I won it. Cost of goods $50, but I figured I'll probably get $300 for it. Well, I didn't get $300 for it, but it did sell. Never sold a boot before like this. It was pretty sweet. So that's a valuable lesson when it comes to glass. Inspect it very well, no matter what it is. If it's a vase, a plate, candy dish, fairy lamp, whatever, there's a single chip, a single crack, any tiny bit of damage, I don't recommend you buy it, because even if it does sell, it's going to sell for less than its value, and it's going to take forever. Next up are these Ruger revolver grips. This is my personal item, so I made no money on these. I just switched out my grips, decided I didn't want them, so I sold them for 20 bucks. I think I paid even 25 for them. And if you didn't know, you can sell firearm accessories on eBay. You can sell slings, you can sell grips, you can sell optics, but you can't sell anything else. No ammo, no actual firearms. Next up is a Milwaukee hole saw, sold for $15. I don't remember what the cost of goods is. I probably broke even on this. It took forever. It's a great quality item that's in high demand. The problem is there's like a bazillion of them on Amazon and eBay. So even if you can source them cheap, they're very hard to sell. Next up are these Welch's jelly glasses. Free to me. My friend with the pole barn just gave them to me, said, we're throwing them away. Come and get them if you want them. I cleaned them up really good because they were in a barn, and they cleaned up great. Listed them, and I got a message from a buyer that said he really wanted just one of them, but there was 9. So he threw me an offer of 40 bucks, and I accepted. Gotta love Kirby. Oh, yeah, Kirby vacuum. Weighs like 45 pounds, gives you some muscle. Well, this is a power sander attachment. I don't know why, but Kirby has all of these attachments like shampooers to shampoo your couch and your carpet. This is a sander. I could not imagine hooking this up to a Kirby vacuum to sand wood with. That just seems weird. Sold for $19.95, cost of goods $1.67. I also sell Kirby vacuums, like the entire vacuum, and you talk about heavy. Whoa. They're easy to disassemble, and you can get them in a pretty decent sized box, and people buy them. I sold one from 1984. Tested, made a little video of it working, and it sold pretty good. Next up is this Lions Club lapel pin. I got about 300 in my eBay store. I bought like 365 of them for 40 bucks at a flea market. Took a lot of labor to photograph and list them all, and they are terrible sellers. I don't recommend them. This one sold for $11.96. Next up is this Noritake plate. This is vintagey, really old Noritake, sells well. Newer Noritake does not sell well. This one sold for $17, free ship. Next up is this really cool color. Now that's big. Color Palm Pilot. Not even sure where I got this from, but tested working. Made a video of it working. For you young folks out there, a Palm Pilot is like a smartphone that you can't make calls on. So this goes back to the mid to late 90s. They really phased out pretty fast, just like the BlackBerry. Technology seems to come and go. Probably within 10 years, everything changes, it seems like. But people are nostalgic. People like stuff like this. They don't want Wi-Fi. They don't want apps in the background. They don't want the government spying on them. So old track phones, old candy bar phones, Palm Pilots, Blackberries, people still like that stuff. This one sold for 40 bucks. Not too bad. I think it's my personal item, but it's so old, cost of goods would be free. Next up is this practically worthless Philco digital to analog converter for television. So back in 2019, analog TV signals changed to digital. So if you had an old TV that wasn't HD TV or digital TV or anything like that, you had to buy a converter in order to watch free television broadcast over the air. Well, people freaked out, so they made these little converters. Well, back in 2009, 2010, maybe 2011, people would buy these. But I found this at a thrift store thinking, oh, yeah, I'm sure somebody needs this. People have RVs. They still have old TVs. And yeah, it took like 3 years to sell. I'm shocked it even sold. Got 15 bucks for it. Next, I sold this set of 4 red Fiestaware cups for $24. Fiestaware is weird. It's collectible. It'll sell. but it can sit in your store for 5 years or it can sell in 5 minutes. It's very unpredictable, but if you can source it cheap, buy it. Next up, Mrs. Midwest Picker gave me a pair of brand new shoes with the tags and the box that she never wore. She said, here, sell these on eBay. They're like $80 shoes, sold for $24.95 pretty fast. Next is some retail arbitrage. That's like a French word, isn't it? Arbitrage. Bought these at a Restore store. That's what I call it. Habitat for Humanity's thrift store. It's called Restore. There's a stack of these things. I think I got them for 10 bucks. There's some kind of test kit. I don't even know what it's for. It doesn't matter. As long as it's got a UPC and a MRN number and a description, I can Google anything. Some guy messaged me and said, hey, would you take 75 bucks for all of them? And I said, 10 into 75, yes. I seem to be selling a lot of cups and mugs lately. I don't know. It's just crickets for a year, and then everybody wants mugs and cups. Sold this Tabasco cup, really cool, $15.95. Next is this comic book wall art. I don't know anything about comic books, zero, but I saw this at a thrift store for, I don't know, $2 maybe. I can't remember the cost of goods, but it's like, not processed, but pressure board, kind of like a picture frame. It's hollow. I just call it wall art. Took a long time, like 3 years to sell. Took a best offer of 20 bucks. Some more Fritz and Floyd bowls. I don't know. They're now gone. I had plates and bowls. It also says everyday white. So if you see these and it says everyday white and nothing else, it's Fritz and Floyd. Or it says Fritz and Floyd, and in tiny words it might say everyday white. You have to be careful, but they're obviously white. Sometimes the plates are square. Those are ones I just sold. In the bowls, they sell pretty good. Sold for $26.96. Last item is this vintage wrench. Don't be afraid to source hand tools. Look at them. You don't have to be an expert in tools. I'm not. But everybody knows Snap-on and Craftsman and the good stuff. Avoid made in Taiwan, made in China. This is a vintage old wrench, and people actually collect these and they use them, but they're very well made in the USA, and they will sell. This one sold for $10. So that's the video, guys. Hit the thumbs up on your way out. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Share this video if you know anybody that finds this information or could find this information helpful because they're new to reselling. Down below the video is the share button. Share it with somebody. If you find this video really annoying, hit that share button and share it with somebody you don't like as a prank. Who knows? But I'm glad you were here. I hope you learned something. Those are some good bolos. And look out for those Murano boots. If you can find one, oh boy, look for damage. If there's no damage, I would pay up to 75 bucks. Because they'll sell for $300 to $400. That's the video. Until next time, see ya.